I know you saw the thumbnail, Fikile Mbalula and General Phahlane, and you're asking yourself, why are we talking about Paulo Sullivan? It is relevant. Stick with me, okay? Stick with me. A few days ago, I started reading Paulo Sullivan's book, Stop Me If You Can, and I told you that there's cast members in the book. Phahlane Khomuso is listed as the corrupt chief of staff, the corrupt chief of police. That's how Paulo Sullivan introduces Phahlane to us in his book. In the book, he also includes in chapter 1, right away, the threat that he gave Phahlane, of course, via email. You already know his MO, right? I'm going to read it to you quickly, and then I'll play the video of why Phahlane says he was illegally suspended by a mere police minister, Fikile Mbalula. At the time, of course, allegedly, of course, in Dun Dun. Here goes. Paulo Sullivan says, I then went on in the same email to directly accuse South Africa's Chief of Police, Lieutenant General Phahlane, of corruption. Phahlane, before you start taking sides, remember that you are the one who has worked so hard to protect the crooked cop, Munu, who is on the payroll of Krecher and many other mafia kingpins, many of them with Zupta connections. Zupta being Zuma connections, Zupta and Guptas equals Zupta, okay? That's a Paulo Sullivan word. You are also the one that has forced me to spend over 100,000 rands a month to protect a key state witness that dirty cops on your payroll are trying to have murdered so that Krecher can get a leg up. Before I forget, Phahlane, I want to ask you where the money came from to build this mansion in Sables Hills waterfront estate. I've got a copy of the title deeds and bond details. As I see it, as I see it, you had spare cash of between 3 million rands and 5 million rands? Did you win the lottery? Asks Paul Sullivan. He includes a picture of the mansion. Gorgeous. I opened a case about this house with iPad, but to date, they have not even acknowledged my complaint and have refused to return my emails inquiring on the progress. You know what, Paulo Sullivan? I think we're going to call him King of Email Threats. No doubt, also nobled by the Zuptas, just like South African Airways, Treasury, SARS, NPA, Hawks, and SAPS. If you've got nothing to hide, tell me who built it, where the cash came from, as a 2.2 million rand bond did not buy the land and build that house. Guess what? Guess what you cannot do? You cannot stop freedom of speech. People died for that. And dirty cops cannot stop it. If it takes a ratings downgrade for South Africa to kick things into gear, then I guess we better take the downgrade. One thing's for sure. I'm meeting in Whitehall on the 4th of April 2016, and I will hand a detailed report of the levels of corruption that this country has sunk to, with a request that it be shared globally, and this rot can be brought to a halt by targeting the Zuptas and his dirty generals. Remember, don't even dream of sending dirty cops to raid me, like was done by Munu last year. I will tear into you all like a rabid dog. My methods may be unorthodox, but given I am fighting corruption, state machinery with deep pockets, I will resort to tactics designed to win rather than make friends. Watch the space. I had to read that to you. I thought it was important for the family to know what Paulo Sullivan wrote in an email to Phahlane. This is Phahlane, guys. Do you hear his voice? This is a man who's being threatened, or should I say was threatened, by Paul O'Sullivan. Now I'm going to go through the cast and I want to see how he introduces Fikile Mbalula. Ooh, Fikile Mbalula does not get any addendums. He is just Fikile Mbalula, current minister at the time of writing this book, Minister of Transport, aka Mr. Fiefoko. Ooh, were. Okay, now I'll let you listen to Phahlane himself, General Phahlane. Let me know your thoughts. Was his suspension lawful or unlawful? I'll meet you in the comment section.
A step-aside policy, because it was first applied on me for whatever reasons. On that day, I was in Pretoria. I get a call from the office of the minister. I can't remember who specific in the minister's office. And I was asked to travel to Cape Town for a meeting with the minister. I had no reason not to respond to such, made travel arrangements, got here to Cape Town, waited for more than 3 hours for the minister to come. He came. We had our less than 5 minutes meeting. He was there with his deputy. I think the deputy then was Mr. Bongani Mkongi, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Bongani. So at that time, the media was dominating with Phahlane and IPIT and Robert McBride and O'Sullivan. And then the minister simply asked, General, in view of all this negativity in the media, is it not better that you maybe step aside? I agreed because I'm not glued to any position. And I accepted the role of an acting national commissioner from the president, knowing that as a member of the South African Police Service, you can be deployed anywhere at any given time, as long as it's to serve the people of the Republic. I only asked 2 questions to the minister. Who do I hand over to? And he said, no worries, don't worry about that. And I say, since you say step aside, what does it mean? Say, no, you go home. Shook the minister's hand, thank you very much. I left. On my way out, I met Mr. Bo Mbindwani, who was, I think, a political advisor to the minister. I was coming from the 9th floor in the building on ground level. As I was stepping out of the lift, Mr. Bo Mbindwani was entering, leading Lieutenant General Mutiva, a colleague of mine. I left for the airport, waiting for my flight. And it is there, when I was sitting there, that I was following the minister, making an announcement to the effect that I am removed. I was asked to provide reasons within 48 hours why I should not be suspended. And that he is now, or Lieutenant General Mutiva, who is incorruptible, is now the new acting national commissioner. I was at the airport. Now, I'm giving you all that to say I was not removed by the President of the Republic of South Africa as the Constitution and the Police Act dictates. I was made to step aside by the Minister of Police then. No law provides for such. That's why I continue to say that my removal from office cannot be found anywhere in the prescripts. Later, I think it was on the 7th of June, I then got a call from a colleague of mine, Lieutenant General Skete, who was saying, hey, General, I'm being asked to deliver documents to you. And I said, what is it? I mean, I've worked with General Skete for years. And he said, I've got these documents. It's a notice of suspension. And I said, General, you don't have to go through the trouble of traveling to my office. You can just ask one of the officers in my office. In actual fact, I sent my driver who went to him to fetch the documents and bring them. When I received the documents, the first thing I did, I called General Mutiva. And I asked him, General, are you trying to sort out the mess that the minister has created? And he was very apologetic. He said, General, I'm very sorry. It is true. It's a mess because you never suspend someone verbally without documents. And if I were to be suspended or removed from office, it was to be by the president who in the first place appointed me. To date, I don't have a letter signed by the president which is saying you have been removed as an acting national commissioner. Following the first, I think it was the second or the third, there was a media, there was, I can't remember the president's spokesperson, it's Dr. Sam, I just forgot the surname. He issued a statement and said, the president thanked me for my services. That's in short what I can say about that removal. Unlawful, irrational, but it doesn't belong here, it belongs in the courts. That's why I'm ventilating that matter in the courts and the public protector of South Africa.